Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our daily get-together live on Facebook every morning, 10:30, where we get together and exchange news, headlines, comments, questions, suggestions on how to have an awesome life here in Puerto Vallarta as an English-speaking community. If you're new to these broadcasts, my name is Paco, and we love to welcome new friends here on our daily get-togethers. So if you want to let us know that you're new, you can write the word new in the comments section, and we will be so very happy to give you a proper welcome. Also, if you have any specific things that you want to discuss today, if you have a specific question, please add the letter Q to the beginning of it so that we can make sure we address it either during the broadcast or shortly thereafter. As always, whatever we talk about today, I'm going to share links for websites and things in the show notes, which will be available shortly after the broadcast. And today, oh my God, what a great day! Because yesterday was an awesome day, but before we go there, let me just finish doing all my welcomes because I see a lot of friends. No, I want to tell you today is going to be awesome because we have follow-up from yesterday's conversation on the bazaar. I did what you asked me to do. I went and did a short video tour, so we're going to see the video, the walking tour of the bazaar, Las Gaviota, which is probably the most popular secondhand store here in Puerto Vallarta. And then, quite unexpectedly, I came across this wonderful, amazing, delicious new restaurant here in Colonia Versalles in the most serendipitous way. So I took photos, I tried the food, and I tried the wine, and I'm going to give you the blow-by-blow for that. We have a few bits of news, and of course we have part 2 of our Mexican Deadly Songs series. Yesterday we had part 1, which was Men Are Scum. I hope you took some time to go listen to Paquita la del Barrio singing Rata de Dos Patas. And today we have part 2, which is Women Are Scum. And so we're going to have a little bit of everything today. Let me very quickly see who's in the house because it's always fun to see who's joining us. Oh my God, Paul is back from Boston. Paul, welcome back to Puerto Vallarta. I hope you'll have a really good time this time around. It'll be great to cross paths with you. If it happens, that'll be great. And if it doesn't, I'm sure you're going to have a great time. Michael, I am wondering if I can make a reservation with you through chat because, surprise, I'm having dinner at one of your restaurants this evening. Great to see you. Tampa Bay is in the house. Conchas Chinas is in the house. Raymond Dunn, our favorite Versalles baker. Along with other favorite Versalles bakers that we have. There's a lot of bakeries now here in Colonia Versalles, which makes it even better than before. Den made it here. I remember, Den, just a couple of days ago, you were saying that you were coming into town. I'm so very happy that you're settling. And I'm so, oh my God, you travel with kitty cats. That is fantastic. Welcome to the show this morning. Let's see who else is here. Well, you're all here. Michael, it is great to see you. I wonder what you're singing these days. My friend Rocio is here. Un besote. Let's see who else. Oh my God, a bunch of really happy people. What is up, Paco and Luna? Well, Luna is in the bedroom this morning. She is not participating today. Christine asks, new COVID rules are starting on Friday. That is correct. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about our president and Joe Biden briefly, and we're going to talk about all kinds of fun things. Um, da, 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 and I think we're ready to go. Boom. Let us get started with the headlines, which are short but important, and then we continue with the rest of the broadcast. Yesterday afternoon, where am I? Why am I not showing up here? Da, 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 da. Aha. There I am. I feel much better. Yesterday, I saw a short video that our governor, Enrique Alfaro, showed published on Facebook, where he was meeting with restaurant authorities from the state. And he is, of course, navigating the delicate waters of finding a balance between health and prosperity, economic prosperity. And he mentioned that he had a very successful meeting with restaurants. He mentioned that specifically that the emergency button is not going to be prolonged. It will not be extended. A lot of people were wondering, well, what happens if we continue to be confined after tomorrow? The governor has confirmed that we will not continue to be confined. He's also mentioned that new guidelines are going to be made available. He spoke specifically about restaurant-related guidelines. He said that they're going to be simpler to follow. Of course, we're going to have to wait and see what the details about this are going to be. And hopefully that will be announced either today, during the day, or tomorrow morning, hopefully before our broadcast. I'll definitely keep us posted to see what is next in this wonderful adventure. I also wanted to let you know that Joe Biden communicated with Mexico's embassy in the United States, expressing interest in having a connection with Mexico's president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Of course, Mexico's president responded to Marta Bárcena, who is our ambassador in Washington, saying that we will be ready to have a communication. We, as in Mexico, the president, will be ready to communicate with Joe Biden and his team once the election has been completely confirmed. Ambassador Bárcena published the complete position of Mexico as far as this is concerned on her Twitter account, and I am going to share the link to her statement, which is the Statement of Mexico, which is written in English, so that you can see exactly where our country is as far as this process that is going on in the United States. And just for kicks, I wanted to show you this news item from Mexico City. See this tower? This tower was being built in a neighborhood in Mexico City, and it got far. I mean, look at how many stories it is. And look at how far the construction went. Well, the construction was stopped because it was not a legal construction. It was not legally sanctioned. It did not follow the proper studies of environmental, all the environmental studies required to have a permit to build. And yes, this mammoth is coming down. And the reason I want to show that to you is because it is comforting to see that at least in some places in Mexico, certainly in Mexico City, if you start building something just for the hell of it and you think you're going to get away with it, well, not anymore, not in the current government. At least that's what we seem to find. Will we ever see such a drastic maneuver here in our Puerto Vallarta? I don't know. But at least we know that this is happening somewhere else. And boom, that is how brief our formal news are today. We're going to switch over to the leisurely stuff because we have a ton of fun things to share today. So let's get on with the weather and take it from there. Okay, the weather continues to be lower than 2 days ago. It is 26 degrees Celsius, 28 degrees, feels like 28 degrees. And it is 78 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Humidity is at 73%. And we are looking at a humid and partly cloudy day during the day. Same thing for tomorrow, Thursday, and humid through the day on Friday, but the high temperature continues to drop. The high temperature is 29 degrees. So this is good. Our weather is definitely changing, and we feel good about this. So before we dive into the walking tour of the bazaar, I want to tell you about my evening dining experience because it was unexpected and heavenly. And this says so much about what a wonderful restaurant community Versalles has. It was about yesterday was a crazy day because I finished the show, I went and did the walking tour, and I started editing it. And before you knew it, it was like 4:30 in the afternoon. I had barely had a snack. I was starving, and I figured, well, where am I going to go eat because there's no food in the house? And although we have no shortage of restaurants, I was thinking, well, it has to be a place that I haven't been to or I haven't been to in a while. And it was in the middle of the afternoon, so the daytime restaurants were getting ready to close down, and the dinner restaurants were not yet ready to open. So I started wandering aimlessly through my neighborhood, headed in the general direction of Oregano, because I know that Chef Graciela stays open through the day. Not particularly eager to go to Oregano. I love Oregano, but I had been to Oregano just a little while ago, and I'm always trying to look for new places to support. And I found myself at Oregano and found Chef Graciela sitting on the sidewalk, literally, with a favorite client of hers. And she immediately got up and she told me, hey, I want to tell you about this new place that is just open next to mine. It's called La Gallega. And I want to introduce you to the owner because he's a super nice guy. So she introduced me to him, and I figured, okay, this is a sign. I could have gone and had dinner at Oregano, but I'm going to check out this new place. And the new place is absolutely amazing. It turns out now that Versalles has a brand new tapas bar. It's called La Gallega a Taberna do Porto. And it was just absolutely fun. I walked in, and in the outside, it doesn't look interesting at all, but the inside is small, cozy, colorful, wonderful. And I have to tell you, I looked at the menus, and it was really fun because the menus are not in English or in Spanish. The menus are written in Gallego, which is Galician, which is the language spoken by some 2.5 million people in the northern part of Spain. It's one of the official languages. So it is not written in a language that one can easily understand, although it is similar enough to Spanish that I figured I'm going to get by with this. Now, I would be the first person to frown. Hey, I'm sitting down at a restaurant and I want a menu written in a language that I can understand. But then I thought to myself, well, a tapas bar is a place that is designed for people to mingle and interact with one another. So I figured a menu written in Galician is going to guarantee interaction between the waiters and myself. So the wait staff was absolutely wonderful. They showed me my way through the menu, and I ordered a couple of tapas that I'm going to show you in a second. But check out the cocktail menu. They have something that I didn't get to try because I had a couple of glasses of wine. But they have a cocktail that is made, it's called the Catepino. It's made of, check this out, avocado, cucumber, lime juice, sparkling water, and mezcal. I mean, that has got to be the most intriguing beverage one can imagine. Anyhow, it's definitely something that I'm going to try again. What did I order? Well, the first tapas that I ordered were pieces of ham with a special type of mayonnaise looking like dressing. I don't know if it was mayo, but it was delicious. And of course, bread, and of course, a glass of wine. And then, oh my God, octopus. And I'm talking heavenly octopus served on a bed of potatoes. It was absolutely delicious. And then for dessert, um, I had this fried milk, deep fried milk, served with a vanilla cardamom ice cream, and it was all sprinkled with cinnamon, and it was absolutely delicious. And the beautiful thing about this is, check this out. I walk into the restaurant, And sitting in, well, first of all, I get into this restaurant because the restaurant next door recommended it. And then I walk into the restaurant, and the owner of La Mara, Josue, is sitting in there. So it is really comforting to see that these neighborhood restaurants are working together to promote one another. And that just makes me think, I love living in the neighborhood that I've chosen to live in. And it's really wonderful. And of course, needless to say, the restaurant has just been added to Versalles For Foodies, because I want everybody to be able to try it. If you were wondering where it is, no, that's Artisan Bakery, wrong dot. There we go. It is already in the map, so if you want to go check it out, you can do so. And of course, we wish La Gallega and the owner, Agustin, much success with their new venture. We're really, really happy for them. Let me take a quick look at comments and questions you may have, because I've been just like flying through today. Not intentionally, but I'm just so excited. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Tracy, I am so sorry to hear that you are in bed with COVID. I wish you a swift recovery. Please take good care of yourself, and hopefully you'll be out of this in no time at all. Let me see. Let me see. What else do we have going? Barbara is moving to PV in June 2021. Interested in purchasing medical insurance. How do I begin? Do I start with an insurance broker? I would. I'm so glad that you posted this question, Barbara. You may want to just get a sense as to what other members of the community have done. Definitely reach out to Pam Thompson. Pam Thompson is very much involved in these kinds of affairs. If you don't know who Pam Thompson is, just drop me a message privately through the Coffee and Headlines Facebook page, and I'll be happy to put you in touch with her. Let's see. Oh, what a great question. Did anybody make it to the market in Nuevo Vallarta yesterday? I didn't even know that it had started, but if anybody has reports, it would be fun to hear about this. Kimberly says we have a taste of what we go through when we go to a Chinese restaurant in the States. Well, I like my menus written in my own language, but here, this being such a small, cozy, authentic little venue, I have no problems with the menu written in a different language, because it encourages me to interact with other people and the staff and so forth and so on. In fact, one of the things that I ate was a recommendation of Josue Arana. So it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. La rita tutti. Let's see. Looks like they wanted to make sure that I understood the drink menu. Absolutely. I was so very happy to see that the cocktails were something I could easily peruse. Terry, you always ask me this, and I forgot to look, because shame on me, I'm not a vegan. But I will check with Agustin, because I know I'm going to be back to his eatery sometime in the near future. Mihal chimes in with her interest in curious cocktails. I know, I definitely want to go back and check it out. And Rocio chimes on the fact that businesses are working together. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Let's see what else we have. Here's a comment. Brett Lamar is the best health insurance broker. I don't have the pleasure of knowing him, but here's another recommendation for him. Here's another recommendation for him. Maybe Brett Lamar, if he's a local person, is someone we can interview at some point, just to get some interesting information for everybody. We continue to get questions about the Saturday Market in Old Town. The Saturday Market in Old Town has its own Facebook page, folks. I encourage you to visit the page, and I'm sure you will find the answer to that question there. I will make a note to myself to take a look at it before the end of the day. Moving right along, I want to share one more headline with you before. Oh no, that's not true. We still have like two more things to go through. We still have the walking tour of Versalles, of the secondhand store, and we have. Well, let me start with this headline. This headline comes to us from the New York Times. We've seen similar headlines. This one is 5 minutes that will make you love Sopranos. In this series of interviews, the what the New York Times does is they talk to people that are not related to music. For example, Ann Patchett, novelist, and Anthony Tomasini, who's a classical music critic, and they share recordings in this case that will make you love sopranos. So these have got to be definitive recordings of amazing sopranos like Maria Callas, Jesse Norman, Leontine Price, and Renee Fleming, and others. So this will be a fun thing to pursue in a little while. So I see a question here. How about another tequila and headlines? The first one was fun. Let me get together with my accomplices and we'll schedule it. In fact, I'm having dinner tonight with a couple of peculiar people that would be perfect for another version of tequila and headlines. I will keep you posted. Let me, before I go into the walking tour, let me feel. Oh, there's an interesting question. Ronnie Lee asks, "Do you have a map of suggested restaurants for Old Town as well as Versalles?" I don't, and I'm going to tell you why. There's two reasons primarily. Number one, because Old Town restaurants are so heavily promoted that they probably don't need a map from yours truly. Number one. Number two, I live near Versalles, and near Versalles is where the new restaurant scene is coming, is where all the up and coming restaurants really do need the most promotion. So this is why I have chosen to focus on Versalles at this point. I am working on another map that has to do with Mexican antojitos, and that'll cover restaurants from all over the city. And number three, I hate to say it, but it is convenient. All I have to do is walk 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and I am surrounded by heavenly food. So that is the reason why there is not another map for Old Town, at least not at this moment. Where was I going? I was going, of course, to the second part of our Mexican Deadly Song series. Yesterday, we started with part one, Men Are Scum, and today we are going to continue with part two, Women Are Scum. And again, I chose to tackle these songs just for the hell of it. Yesterday, we talked about Rata de Dos Patas, which is Two-Legged Rat, a 2004 hit by the wonderful Paquita la del Barrio, which means Paquita of the neighborhood. She is a very popular singer with Mexico's working class. All her songs, or many of her songs, talk about how horrible macho men are sexist and are horrible to women. Well, today, we look at another song that was released on the same year. This one comes to us from a group of norteño music called Pesado, which literally means heavy. Pesado has been around since the 1990s. They are based in Monterrey, which is the city where I was born, and the music from Monterrey is all northern type music. An accordion is a must in this type of music. And this particular group is very successful in the northern part of the country and the southern part of the United States. Now, most of the songs that they sing are about love, love gained, love lost, happy love, sad love. And it's not uncommon for a Mexican song that deals with the loss of love and having lyrics such as, well, I feel like killing myself, or, throwing a dagger through my heart. But most of the songs talk about the personal pain. They don't talk about what you wish for the other person or the person on the other side of the affair, whether the affair is good or not good. In this particular case, oh dear, Pesado came up with this song that just cuts to the chase, and it's called Ojalá que te mueras, I hope you die. And it is not at all apologetic. If anything, when we listen to Paquita la del Barrio, if you listened to her yesterday, the musical arrangement is kind of cheesy. There are these sliding saxophones in the arrangement that lead you to believe that the song is not necessarily to be taken seriously. In the case of Ojalá que te mueras, I hope you die, there is no subtlety. This is a song about a guy who's deeply in love with a woman who has cheated on him. despite the fact that she knows that he is deeply in love with her. What are the lyrics about? Well, let's check it out. I hope you die. May the earth open wide and may you sink in it. May everyone forget you and may heaven's doors close for you and may everyone humiliate you. May your soul be grief struck and the more you hurt, the more they hurt you. So, again, cuts to the chase. Second verse. I hope you die. May your soul go to hell and your cry be eternal. May you pay for cheating on me when I loved you so. May thorns prick your heart if you have any heart left. May remembering me be a torment for you if you ever do. May the pain be so much that you beg for forgiveness if it becomes unbearable. I hope you die. May your whole world be forgotten. I know I shouldn't hate you, but it's impossible to forget what you did to me. And the last verse, I think, yes, this is very uplifting. I hope you die. May your whole world be empty. May every tear you shed burn your soul. May you never find peace. I hope you die. Bam. I mean, how do you put up with that? And of course, the song was very controversial when it came out. The video was very controversial as well, but it was brutally successful. And please don't tell me that you haven't been there before. I mean, have you ever been so love hurt that you didn't feel so strongly about something? Now, I'm not suggesting you go to Daiquiri Dick's tomorrow and have dinner and ask the next, singer that walks by, oh no, I don't want to hear Besame Mucho. I want to hear I Hope You Die. Although it would be quite funny if you did that. But the thing that I just want to say is these songs, whether they're uplifting or not, whether they're positive or negative, whether they're controversial or not, they're an integral part of the Mexican psyche. So I am not sharing them with you for you to approve of them or disapprove of them. I am just sharing them so that you get a sense as to the cultural context for the songs. Obviously, tomorrow we're going to wrap this up with part 3 of 3 Deadly Mexican Songs, and part 3 is going to be called Tongue in Cheek. And that's all I'm going to volunteer for now. And let me take a quick look at your comments, which are probably all over the place. Let's see. Arriba la música regia, says Jorge. Well, I must say this is part of the music that I grew up with because this is what, was played on the radio when I was a kid. And yes, I'm sure that there's a lot of love-heard country western songs in the United States that are quite they cut to the chase. So uplifting, says Mary with a smirk. Sherry says those words are brutal. Yes, absolutely. And Heather says, isn't love grand? Jorge recommends a good song, Tres veces te engañé, which is good for men or women. I'm going to research that. A microphone drop from Scott Cameron. I love it. Bam! Actually, Jaime, we're not going to go political here, please. Even if you feel strongly about this, we've chosen to not have political commentary at Coffee and Headlines because songs dedicated to somebody that is the president or was the president of another country have very little to do with exploring the wonderful things about Puerto Vallarta. Let's see. What attracted me to Versalles to live? Well, it was a lot less expensive than Emiliano Zapata. I found a great apartment here, and the rent is inexpensive, and it is very easy to get to. And that's why I live here. It's a wonderful neighborhood. I love it very much. Daniela offers a great suggestion. You need brandy to listen to those songs, either brandy or tequila, I think. Okay, so let us now move on to the last segment of today, and that is following your suggestions and your requests. I went out and took a quick look at the bazaar around the corner. And interestingly enough, I took a route that takes me right in front of La Parrilla de Villa, which is one of the restaurants that is already in Versalles For Foodies, is already in the map. So I decided to go in very quickly into La Parrilla de Villa so that you could take a look at it. During the video, I mentioned that I was about to put it on the map, but silly me, La Parrilla de Villa was already in the map. So here is my quick and dirty walk to the bazaar around the corner. It's about 10 minutes. Enjoy. Hello everyone. So we are right around the corner from Coffee and Headlines headquarters. And this morning we started talking in the show about flea markets and bazaars and places where you can find fun used stuff to be able to shop for. And it so happens that one of the best bazaars here in Puerto Vallarta is about 3 blocks away from my house. So it would be so easy to talk about it. So this is a quick and easy walking tour. I want you to see it. But even before we get there, I'm taking this route because I want you to see that one of the restaurants that we're about to add to the Versalles For Foodies map is La Parrilla de Villa, which is located literally around the corner from my place. They used to be located on Vienna Street, and now they're located in Colonia Versalles, which is where I live, and I wanted to show you a little bit of what it looks like. Buenas tardes, ¿puedo echar un vistazo? So this is La Parrilla de Villa. Again, it used to be very popular around, when they were located on Vienna Street. They moved like 3 blocks away, and now it's this really comfortable place with alfresco sitting where you can enjoy yourself and have traditional Mexican cuts and tacos and quesadillas and so forth and so on. And I just wanted you to see it because we're going to be adding it to the map that we have been working on. Hasta pronto. Bye-bye. I'm not going to tell you where exactly, but there's my bedroom window. I am this close to the place. So now let us head to the bazaar Las Gaviota, which I understand is open right now because I checked their Facebook page. So I am now approaching the intersection with the street called Vienna. And Vienna is this one street that connects this neighborhood. Looking in that direction, we are 2 blocks away from Francisco Villa. And if we were to continue in that direction, we would end up at Plaza Caracol. And I'm going to cross the street. And as you can see, the bazaar is right in front of us. Let's go and have a look at what we can find. Now, the quirky thing about this bazaar is precisely that. It is quirky. It's not like you're going to find a lot of things that are ready to use or that are brand new or anything. You'll find all kinds of quirky stuff. I used to come here a lot when I was doing paper mache projects. I was always looking for things to decoupage or intervene. But here it is. And the first thing that I'm going to do is ask for permission to film. And once we do that, then I'll show you around. Buenas tardes. So I don't see anybody in charge. So unless they stop me, we're going to take a look at some of the things that you can find here. For example, I walk in and this big piece of furniture is available for sale. But then there's all kinds of trinkets, from the useful to the scary to the quirky to the sublime. And then I walk in and there's old frames, some of which could be rescued. Some of these, you may or may not like the artwork, but you can rescue them. Old leather bags. This one may have had a good life. And silk screen printing equipment, furniture, baby carriages, you name it. So let us take a quick look around the bazaar to see what else we find. Hola, hola. In the next aisle, I'm looking at even more quirky ornaments and little things, large things, useful things, maybe. I mean, there's a computer desk here that looks quite good. I mean, it looks in good condition. Maybe you need to tighten up some screws or something. Again, it is usually hit and miss with these places. Sometimes it is fun to just come by and see what's around and maybe find things that you may not even know you need. And that's a scary thought for me, because I'm trying to dispose of things that I'm no longer using. Like, for example, look at this candle holder. It's just dirty. I mean, one could easily just paint it with spray paint and it would be good as new. They want 500 pesos for it. I don't think that's a bad deal. And then if you buy a number of things, you can bargain with them. But of course, the bargaining happens in Spanish. Hola, doña. Muy bien, ¿y usted? Estoy platicándole del bazar a mis gringuitos que me ven en televisión. ¿Me da chance?
Claro.
Muchísimas gracias. See, I just asked for permission and we're able to continue filming, which is great. So now we're looking at appliances. Do these work? I would imagine so. Otherwise, why would they be available here? And then, let's see what else we find. Well, more stuff, that's for sure. It's never ending. Oh, look at this. All kinds of old doors. You know, if you were looking for creative ways to paint, to hang your photographs, or to do something, you know, these pieces of wood are probably crawling with bugs. You know, with those moths that eat the wood. What are they called? Termites. But they could also be repurposed into other things. There's some doors back there. And, you know, things that I don't even understand. Hola.
Hola.
And, you know, just pieces of metal. You know, they might be useful to someone. One never knows. There's a section of books back here. It's a jungle. It really is a jungle. And obviously somebody lives behind this. This is a door that is, you know, clearly somebody's home. We're not going to go there. But I see a bunch of books here, some old LPs and things like that. Some hula, you know, for your next Hawaiian party. Check this out. Oh my God, this might be my next Halloween do. Maybe. Then look at this. Somebody built some kind of thing out of old LPs. Whoops. I almost tripped. And, you know, you can keep going back and you find all kinds of things. Even a photographer's studio light. That's amazing. I wonder if it works. Not that I need it. But, again, some of this stuff might look a little trashy, but it all depends on what you're looking for and what you need. And I wanted to make sure that you got a good look at it. Now, there's another bazaar that just opened by the Libramiento that I have been intrigued about. And since you seem to be intrigued about this kind of stuff, maybe I will pay them a visit at some point. Look, little baby mannequins. Now, if I was still doing paper crafts, I would cover one of those with paper mache and then paint it, and that would be so much fun to have around the house. Anyhow, there you go. 500 pesos for a screwed up foot. Not bad. And I almost tripped with the same piece of metal I almost tripped with just a second ago. And this, my friends, is the famous Las Gabrieltas Bazaar. I wanted to make sure that you saw it. And I wanted to make sure that you knew where it was. Estimada,
Qué gusto, bebé.
muchísimas gracias. It is always a pleasure. Siempre es un placer.
Muchas gracias.
Hasta pronto.
Hasta pronto.
So there you have it, folks. This was the Bazaar Las Gaviotas, conveniently located. It is open all the time. They have a Facebook page if you have questions. My advice to you, however, is if you come and shop in a place like this, make sure that you're bringing a Mexican friend or somebody that speaks Spanish, because you might be able to get a better deal on the prices if you buy several things and if you have somebody negotiating for you. And that's it. Till the next time, have a great day. And there you have it. That was the Bazaar Las Gaviotas, a really dangerous place for someone like myself that likes to repurpose things and paper mache and decoupage things. Those little baby mannequins, I mean, I could have easily walked out with one of those and brought it home and painted it and done some kinds of things. So it is tempting, but no, I resist it. But seriously, it is probably the most well-known secondhand store here in Puerto Vallarta. And as Logan pointed out, it is full of chingaderas. But I don't mean chingaderas in a bad way. I mean chingaderas as in tchotchkes, which a lot of you also mentioned. It is just a real fun place to visit and explore. And the best part of it is that the idea of going there came from you. So for me, oh my goodness, it makes me so very happy to be of purpose and to be of use to you as a community. So I'm super grateful for yesterday and super happy to have been able to deliver. Let me very quickly look at your last minute questions. You had a lot of fun comments during the video. I was having a lot of fun reading through what you were saying. Let me see if there are any important questions left before we part. Celeste says, now I know where I'm going to get furniture for my little apartment and art supplies. Absolutely. There's all kinds of quirky stuff, SCH stuff in there that should be pursued. That brings us, you can just pick up, well, yeah, that would be me. That would be me. Terry says, what are the tianguis like in Mojoneras? I heard it's a giant yard sale. It's a lot more chaotic, and I'll be honest with you, I have never been. But my friend Catherine and I have decided we are going to go to the tianguis in Mojoneras, because this one, essentially what happens in Mojoneras is people bringing, wow, that was a loud truck. People bringing stuff from outside of their house to the front of their houses to sell, and it is several blocks long. I am going to make it a point to go to the tianguis in Mojoneras at some point in the near future, and of course I'll bring my camera with me, because this is what we love doing. As always, dear friends, it is a pleasure to spend time with you. It is a pleasure to connect our community with our destination in as many possible ways as I can. Before I leave, I want to let you know that American Thanksgiving is coming, and I'm starting to receive promotions from friends of mine that are chefs and so forth and so on, that are interested in making sure that people know that if you'd like to celebrate U.S. Thanksgiving, there are places to go. There are places to go, and there are meals to be shopped for that can be delivered to your home, or that you can purchase or order for takeout. So we're going to start promoting as much as we can, because we want to help the local restaurants. If you're a local restaurant and you're going to have any kind of special Thanksgiving deal, please let me know, because we'll be happy to make sure that we create connections between you restaurants and all the community that is looking for some turkey and gravy this year. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Stay kind, stay happy, stay shopping, but don't go crazy. And I will see you again soon. Have an awesome day.